Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, Jeff Hall from the American Red Cross will be joining us to talk about a critical blood shortage happening across the country. First, though, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, some hazy sunshine. It is 33 degrees right now. It'll be a partly sunny, breezy day today with highs in the low to mid 30s this afternoon. And then we really get into some dangerously cold weather. An Arctic front blows in tonight. Temperatures will plummet to the single digits. Wind chills tonight below zero, and it really does not warm up much at all for the next several days. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, but a bitter blast of Arctic air sets in with highs only in the teens. Wind chills colder than that. Low tomorrow night about 6 degrees. That sets the stage for our snowstorm beginning sometime on Sunday, probably late morning, midday, and the snow really ramps up throughout the afternoon and evening and overnight hours. Sunday's highs only in the low to mid 20s. Pretty steady temperatures at night as the snow piles up into Monday morning. It will eventually end Monday afternoon as some snow showers, and accumulations right now predicted anywhere from 18 to 24 inches by the time it's all said and done sometime on Monday night. And really most of next week looks bitterly cold but dry, so there is that. So 33 in Quincy right now. Enjoy it. Checking out the news for you today, the state Supreme Court has agreed to hear the city of Quincy's appeal of that injunction that prevents statues of St. Michael and St. Florian from being installed on the front of the new public safety complex. This week, the High Court agreed to hear the case after a Norfolk Superior Court judge ruled last year that an injunction was in place preventing the statues from being installed. The city contends the statues are longtime symbols of support for police officers and firefighters, and that they are public art. A group of citizens represented by the ACLU argues the statues would be a violation of the constitutional separation of church and state because they'd be on a public building. Meantime, the police department, the fire department administration, and emergency management department have begun moving into the new building. Quincy City Council President Ann Mahoney is promising that proposals to repeal the pay raises for the mayor and city councilors will be debated by the Quincy City Council. Those proposals were put on hold when Councilor at Large Noel DeBona objected to them being discussed at this week's City Council meeting. Now, Mahoney says she'll urge DeBona to explain the reasons for his objections.
I know that that's a rule that can be invoked, and when it's invoked, it is for that one meeting. So it will hold. It doesn't prevent the discussion. It will come back onto the agenda the next meeting. What's interesting is we're not sure what he was objecting to. So oftentimes, I've always said to people, and I've said it to the new counselors too, whether it's a yes is you're the only one voting yes or the only one voting no, it's important that the public know why you're doing that. And the same thing with an objection. If you're going to object to something, it's really important for the public to know what it is you're doing, because he wasn't even allowing the motion to be read in, so like the actual order to be read in. So people at home were like, we don't even know what got objected. What happened? It was kind of it was a bit problematic, and it's okay because it was his choice. He can object. However, many people were confused by that.
Mahoney says if necessary, she will force a vote on the raise issue to put those items into committee. She also says she'll force a vote on a proposal to create public participation procedures for city council meetings, which was also objected to by DeBona, although DeBona has since said he is in favor of public participation at council meetings, but wanted more time to review the proposal. The next city council meeting is scheduled for February 2nd at 6:30 at City Hall. Now, the city is remembering 2 former mayors and 1 former Quincy First Lady. James Sheets died last Thursday in Pennsylvania at age 90. Sheets served as mayor from 1989 to 2001. He was a former Ward 4 councilor, state representative, and a former instructor at Quincy College. And a funeral mass is underway today for former Quincy Mayor Arthur Tobin and his wife Shirley at St. John's Church in Quincy Center. The former First Quincy lady died last Thursday in Quincy at age 97. The former mayor died the following day at age 95. Tobin was Quincy mayor for 2 terms, beginning in 1977. He was also a city councilor, a state representative, and a state senator. From 1982 until his death, he was clerk magistrate at Quincy District Court. Tobin's successor at the courthouse will be appointed by the governor with approval from the governor's council. William Phelan is now the lone surviving former Quincy mayor. Phelan unseated Sheets in 2001 and served 3 terms, and he is the son-in-law of the Tobins. Mayor Thomas Koch has ordered all city flags to fly at half-staff this week in honor of Sheets and the Tobins. Congressman Stephen Lynch and James McGovern recently visited the Quincy Community Action Program's Early Childhood Center in Quincy Point to highlight QCAP's food pantry and Head Start programs. And both took aim at the Trump administration for cutting funding to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance, or SNAP, program.
Look, I've spent most of my career focused on the issue of food insecurity and hunger. And we live in the richest country in the history of the world, and we have close to 48 million Americans who are food insecure or hungry. We all should be ashamed of that. And hunger essentially is a political condition. I mean, we have the money. I mean, we have money to bail out Argentina, to invade Venezuela, to pay off everybody in Greenland, but we don't have the money, according to this administration, to make sure people have enough food to eat. This administration, the Trump administration, in their big ugly bill, cut SNAP benefits by $200 billion. And the average SNAP benefit is about $2 per person per meal. That's it. People can't live on it. And they cut it by $200 billion. It's a disgrace.
80% of the recipients of SNAP benefits are children, right? 18 million children. It's senior citizens who don't have the ability to go out and work, and also people living with disabilities and the people who care for those 3 groups. So, and it's $2 per meal. That's what the cost is here. So it is absurd. It's absurd that the federal government would back away from this. The Trump administration would back away from this commitment to such a vulnerable demographic within this country.
Those congressmen also participated in a roundtable discussion with local leaders, staff, and community members about the worsening hunger situation in Massachusetts. QCAP serves families across the South Shore through emergency food assistance, early childhood education, and other social service programs. Governor Healey this week officially kicked off her bid for re-election to a 2nd term in November. In a video released on Tuesday, Healey touted accomplishments over the past 4 years that she says have improved the quality of life for Massachusetts residents.
To show up for people who need someone in their corner, to lower costs and increase opportunities. And we're getting things done. We're taking on the utility companies to lower your energy bills. We're building 100,000 new homes to lower the cost of housing. I'm the first governor to cap healthcare deductibles and copays. We transformed veterans' homes to give our vets the care they deserve. We protected SNAP from federal cuts to feed kids and families. When I took office, the T was a disaster, and we turned it around. We doubled funding for education and made community colleges free. And Massachusetts schools are now ranked the best in America. But there's more for us to do, a lot more. And that's why I'm running for re-election.
Healey did blame the Trump administration for, quote, making everything worse. Healey served 8 years as Attorney General before being elected governor. Republicans Mike Keneally of Lexington, the former Housing and Economic Development Secretary, former MBTA Chief Administrator Brian Shortsley from Barnstable, and medical businessman Michael Minogue of Hamilton also plan to run for governor. So far, no other Democrats have stepped forward. Retired Brigadier General, 99-year-old Enoch Woody Woodhouse was the guest speaker at this year's annual Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast held at the Terrell Room in Quincy this past Monday. Woodhouse is one of the last of the famed Tuskegee Airmen, an all-black group of World War II Air Force pilots who broke racial stereotypes of the time. Woodhouse said that King's message of nonviolent resistance is still relevant today.
He wasn't confrontational. He didn't have picket signs. He didn't marshal posses to go out and protest and confront. He said and did the right thing. He appealed to the goodness of America.
After his active duty service ended, Woodhouse joined the Massachusetts Reserves, retiring as a lieutenant colonel. He earned a degree from Yale, graduating magna cum laude. He received a Congressional Gold Medal. 4 years ago, received a special promotion to brigadier general from former Governor Charlie Baker. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Jeff Hall from the American Red Cross will join us for an update. That's next. Welcome back. We are so pleased to continue our partnership with the American Red Cross here at QATV. And today we welcome Jeff Hall to the program to give us a little update on how things are going and how you might be able to help. So, Jeff, great to see you. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having us, Joe.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's nice to continue this relationship to get this message out to the community because it's critical, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we're mainly a community organization.
Right.
We work in the communities. We work in Quincy probably every day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To that end, we should mention right off the bat then, there is a blood drive scheduled for this coming Monday when the storm is looking to be at its height. So far, it's still a go, though, right?
It is a go. Okay. Snowmageddon doesn't turn it off,
right.
But yeah, we'll make it notified to the people
okay.
that if it does get canceled. We're hoping not. As you mentioned, we're in a severe blood shortage right now.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most serious ones we've had in several years.
Really?
We're down collection-wise across the nation about 35%,
wow.
And that's just because hospitals have a greater need right now. So we're trying to match that need the best we can, and we stay in touch with hospitals and our different customers like cancer treatment centers to find what they need and try to make sure we have what they need. But yeah, it comes down to willing volunteers to roll up their sleeves and sit down and donate blood.
Sure. The Monday blood drive in Quincy, this is a long-standing one, actually. I think it's last Monday of every month at the Sons of Italy Hall on Quarry Street from 1 to 6:30 p.m. Still a go right now, but folks should go to the website probably later in the day on Sunday just to make sure.
I would say just to check. Yeah, it's drives like that
yeah.
are the most important here
right.
in Massachusetts,
yep.
where you have a series of donors that make this a regular event every
yep.
2 or 3 months in their life.
Yep.
And those are the donors that we rely on, and having it in the same place where it's like muscle memory, people just keep coming
mm-hmm.
back, it's so important. We thank those sponsors for having and welcoming us into their spaces to have these drives.
Yeah, and speaking of the weather, that's part of the reason that there's such a shortage, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've been experiencing bad weather across the nation. We've had a really bad flu season, which keeps donors at home if they have scheduled appointments. Yeah. So weather has really impacted us so far since November, December right? across the country.
Yeah.
And that we see, those appointments that get canceled, those donations, they just go uncollected. And we have to try to recoup on the back end with drives in the future. It just makes things harder.
Right. Well, it's blood is a perishable item, right? You can't stockpile it, basically.
It is. It's like milk in your fridge.
Right.
You have to continuously keep it fresh.
Right.
So yeah, we need donors really every day across the country, and here in Massachusetts, we have great donors here. We collect thousands of units of blood every day across Massachusetts, and we just need those people to keep coming back.
Yeah. How many donations, ideally, Jeff, would you need, to keep the supply at a comfortable level?
Across the country,
yeah.
it's 13,000.
Oh, okay.
13,000 units a day.
A day.
A day. So
okay.
that's really impressive.
Yeah.
The Red Cross is the largest blood collector in the United States. We collect here in Massachusetts. We have 10 fixed sites that are open 6 days a week across Massachusetts, mm-hmm. and we also have mobile blood drives, and people can find out if you've never donated blood, doing it for the first time, you don't know where to go.
Yep.
You go to redcrossblood.org,
yep.
Put in your zip code right at the top right of the screen, and it will give you a 5-day list of things that are closest to you. So
Okay.
generally within 5 or 6 miles.
Yeah, so there is one near you for sure.
Yep.
And you can also sponsor your own drive, is that right?
You can.
Yeah.
We love to get new sponsors. We're always looking for businesses with space to open up to our phlebotomists and our staff to get in there. Generally, we run blood drives for about 6 hours, and so we start as early as 7 some mornings and go as late as till 7 p.m. some nights.
It's
So
a 24-hour society we're in
it
now,
is,
so,
yeah. So we're looking to make it convenient for donors. We know everybody's schedule's crazy, so
Right.
yeah, whenever they can give.
So let's talk about some of the basics. Who can give blood, Jeff, and how do they do that?
So generally, we have people that are over 18. You can donate if you're under 18 with parents' permission. But yeah, if you're healthy and you're 18, if you're feeling well, you could donate today at a blood drive.
Okay.
We ask people if you feel sick, you don't feel well, if you wouldn't want to go to work
Yeah.
and be around people,
Yeah.
if you feel like you're not healthy enough to be around people, don't come to a blood
Sure.
drive.
Don't
But-
share that with anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling good and you're over 18, you can come to a blood drive, and we do. If you've never given before, we go
Yes.
through a brief health history to make sure you're informed about things that we might defer you for, where you've traveled, if you've had a tattoo recently. Tattoo regulations have changed a lot.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we have that information on our website, but it's not a year deferral like it used to be in the past.
Okay.
So you can donate sooner than that.
Okay.
Generally.
And when I go to the drive, kind of take me through the process if you can, how it works.
Yeah. So donors come in.
Yep.
We have a front desk where we sign people in.
Okay.
If you have the blood donor app on your phone, you can skip a lot of the sign-in process and go right to what we call health history, where you sit down with a phlebotomist, a medical professional, and they ask you some questions about your health history, your lifestyle, and you clear through that. They do a hemoglobin test, which is like the iron. It's different than it used to be. We're not pricking fingers like we used to,
Oh.
but we do a hemoglobin test to make sure that the iron level in your blood is appropriate
Oh, really?
for you
how
to
is
give.
that test done now?
It's less invasive.
Okay.
I haven't had it done.
Oh.
I haven't donated since the last time.
Oh, all right.
I
So
don't-
it's new.
It is new.
Okay.
And the prick of the finger is usually, like, honestly, the most painful part
yes,
of the
yes.
blood donation. It doesn't hurt as bad here
Right.
as it does on your pinky.
Okay.
But once you clear through that, they put you generally, if you're doing a whole blood donation, which is what probably most people have
see.
seen, you're just donating the pint of blood. That you get laid down on a bed. The phlebotomist cleans your arm, helps you relax,
Sure.
and they insert basically it's like an IV.
Yep.
And about 18 minutes later, you're all done.
Okay.
And they have you lay there and sit up for a little bit to make sure you're fully recovered.
Yes.
And then they help you over to a site called a canteen. Just recovery, make sure you get some apple juice, some water, a snack.
Okay.
Generally, they've got sugar in them to help raise your blood sugar since you've just donated.
Yes.
And we ask people to sit there for about 10 minutes just to make sure they're feeling well.
Of course, yeah.
And then you're on your way. And generally, in the door, out the door, it's about an hour for a whole blood donation.
Okay.
We only really take appointments since COVID, so it's a very scheduled operation. So if you're to your appointment 5 minutes early, you will be out most likely in an hour.
Okay.
So
All
we
right.
really keep it moving with the appointments. In the past, before COVID, we used to take a lot of walk-ins.
I remember, yeah.
And sometimes that did slow down
while, yeah.
when people had appointments. COVID changed.
Is that
I mean,
right?
it changed everybody's
Well,
lives in
certainly,
certain
yes.
ways. But yeah, we are sticking with appointment times, and it's better for customer service. I mean, people, if we say it's going to take an hour and you get there at 2 and you plan to be out at 3, we like to be able to have you
Respect
on your
people's
way.
time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Because
sure.
we need those blood donors to come back
Yes.
every 56 days,
I
honestly.
was just going to ask, how often can one donate? Okay.
Whole blood donation is every 56 days.
Okay.
We also have platelets and plasma that you can donate, which
Hmm.
is I don't think most people aren't first-time platelet donors because it is a pretty involved process. It takes about 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
And you sit in a chair and you have basically an IV in each arm.
I see.
And they're exchanging your blood through a machine, stripping out platelets and plasma, and then infusing it back into you with some saline.
I see.
And you actually feel really good after. There's no volume loss in your body when you make a platelet or plasma donation. and you get up feeling well. But the trade-off is it's 2 hours.
Takes 2 hours, yeah.
But we have movies for you to sit and watch. We have blankets to make sure you're warm, and yeah, most. Our platelet donors are very regular. You can do that every 2 weeks, up to, I think it's up to 25 donations a year.
Is there a shortage of platelets also, Jeff?
There is. There is.
Okay.
I mean, there's a number of units we have to collect in order to make sure hospitals have what they need. Those are primarily going to trauma patients to help blood clotting, and to people in cancer treatment, where they get platelet infusions to help feel better after chemotherapy.
Okay. Now, when you go to a donation site, what does the donor need to bring with them?
They should bring a photo ID,
Okay.
government-issued photo ID, just to verify who you are for the appointment time, and that's it. That's really all you need. You're gonna, I mean, you can go out of that blood drive knowing that you have helped somebody in your community, or maybe somebody across the country, with that donation. If you have the blood donor app, there's actually a piece in there that will notify you when your blood donation is used.
Yes,
and
I've
where.
heard about
And
this.
it's a great way to close the loop with the donor, and
Right.
it really helps you, understand what you do, like the donation, the gift you're making, where it's going, and
Do you
how it's
need
helping.
is there a certain type of blood that's more needed than others?
Right now, O negative is probably always going to be the most needed blood, because that's the universal giver.
I see.
Everybody can take O negative blood, and when there's no time if people don't know their blood type or non-responsive, O negative is what trauma folks reach for.
They go to, okay.
They go to that because they know it's going to work in whoever.
Yes.
So
Okay.
O negative. O positive is the most popular. It's the most popular blood type in the United States, so that's always needed. A negative and B negative are right up there as well. Those are very rare blood types. If you've ever donated and you're A or B negative, chances are you hear from the Red Cross often.
We need you again.
We
right?
need you again.
'Cause it's
So
rare. Okay.
yeah, it's rare, and it's needed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So any O positive or O negative, always in need.
Now, do you need to know your blood type to be a donor? No.
You don't. I think the first time I gave, I was 17 or 18, and that's how I found out. You get a little card.
So they will tell you?
They will tell you.
Okay.
They tell you. It takes about 2 weeks for you to get the return. But back when you had a card.
Yes. Yeah,
back when us older folks gave blood.
Experienced,
Right.
not older.
So
yes.
there you go. We would get a card in the mail that say, you have your name on it and your blood type, and you would show that when you went in. But it's so much easier on your phone now with the app.
Well,
so it's got all that information. They just scan it, and then you zip right through
Sure,
the first
yeah.
part of your donation.
And is there I know you said, up to starting at 18, is there like an age limit? Is there an older limit? No.
I have never heard of an age limit. There are weight requirements, and
there are?
there are, and they differ between men and women.
Yes.
So if you've never given, there is a frequently asked questions section on our website that goes into detail, and if you are deferred for some reason, they will tell you why and what you need to do.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, if you're underweight, that's a harder thing to fix, and maybe some people don't want to do that.
Right.
But we have other ways for them
ways
to volunteer
to help,
if they
right.
can't give blood. They can always volunteer at a blood drive.
I was going to ask about that, actually. We're having a shortage of donors, but what about volunteers?
We always need volunteers. We have the professional medical professionals that work the blood drive, but we need people to bring
Welcome
out the
people,
water,
right?
welcome people, make sure people are resting comfortably after they donate and that they're okay. Sometimes the volunteers are like the first line of observation if somebody's not feeling well after the donation.
Yeah, the phlebotomist is busy, right? So
they are. They're always. We always hope to have somebody on every table every hour.
Sure.
So everybody's busy, and volunteers they serve a very important purpose. The Red Cross wouldn't exist without volunteers. We're 95% volunteer led.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And same website, if folks would like to volunteer, go to redcrossblood.org.
Yeah, you can go to redcrossblood.org, and there's a volunteer tab on there, and short training. It's if you have a sunshiny personality, that's really what we're looking for to welcome donors. And if you're a blood donor, you can pass along your experience, and we get a lot of people who have, their personal stories that a member of their
I'm sure.
family has been helped by blood donors.
Yeah, so they want to give back.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. A couple of different incentives to talk about to get folks to donate, right?
We have the big one.
Yeah.
We've been very lucky the past few years with the National Football League, and we have a donor incentive right now that runs through the 25th.
Okay.
That every presenting donor is entered to win 2 free tickets to the Super Bowl in California. So
could be important here.
it could
depending,
be.
Yeah.
Depending on what Sunday happens.
That's right.
But
Okay.
yeah, so airfare, hotel, some spending money, NFL experience.
Wow.
It's a nice package. So yeah, that's the big one probably every year. Is the Super? Everybody waits for
Okay,
the
and that's
Super
only
Bowl
until this
tickets.
Sunday, so okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
it's been going for a few weeks and
Okay.
ends Sunday, and then we transition into a $20 e-gift card.
Yeah.
We probably have 25 or 30 different vendors on our website that they can select from.
Neat. And that goes, let's see, January 26th through February 28th, so you still have
It
time
runs through the end of February,
Okay.
and we always have great. We had a great T-shirt in December. I forget what the promotion we had. Peanuts T-shirts earlier.
Oh, okay.
So
some
yeah,
swag.
Yeah, we always have good swag.
Cool. Jeff, great to talk to you.
Thank you, Joe.
Hopefully it helped get the message out to the community for you.
Absolutely. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Check the forecast for you for the rest of the day. Today it's preparation time. We've got sunshine and temperatures in the low 30s this afternoon, and then we bottom out tonight, single digits. And yes, our weekend storm moves in here midday Sunday through Monday. Could be at least 1.5 feet of snow on the ground by the time we talk to you again next. So prepare for that. Thanks again to Jeff Hall for joining us from the American Red Cross.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks to our crew, and thank you for watching. Weather depending on Monday. We're supposed to talk to the car doctor, John Paul from AAA. We'll see. Meantime, you can always check our website. It's qatv.org. All of our latest programs are there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.